The leadership of the Nigeria Customs Service, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Navy, and Army have called for more investment in technology, personnel, and logistics assets to combat security challenges in the nation's oil and gas sector. They said this while speaking during a panel session at the 17th Oil Trading Logistics Africa Downstream Energy Week held in Lagos.
Due to the vast nature of Nigerian territory now, the number of personnel and the teams you deploy cannot be said to be adequate to effectively respond to all infractions identified. And the logistics available too is another challenge. However, we are synergizing with all stakeholders, all sister agencies, to ensure that we do our best to effectively respond to any identified infraction reported. We have personnel deployed in virtually every state of the Federation and in most cases in local government. We have personnel deployed and patrolling, especially the border areas, where we discover that most of these petroleum products are being smuggled out to the neighboring countries. We can do more with additional personnel and logistics.
Nigeria Customs has expanded their intelligence, and the issue of border smuggling has come to the minimal level via our cooperation with other sister agencies. And two, we have introduced some technological innovations like monitoring the supply chain. From NNPC now, we have an approach that will monitor the tankers that leave wherever it's loaded from the tank farm. I will not tell you how we are being monitoring. And we have other artificial intelligence in which we are using to monitor via our custom intelligence unit.
One of the things that the Navy has done over the years that has given us tremendous results is the deployment of the Regional Maritime Awareness Capability, RMAC, and the Falcon Eye system as well. We have this domiciled at the Naval Headquarters and in each of the operational commands. So, real time, the Navy can see everything happening in our maritime domain. This has helped us to make a lot of arrests for several ships and the vessels that are carrying out illegalities in our waters.
Drones, helicopters are there, but they are not enough. We have to invest in better technology. And I think even our pipelines, we have to look at the possibility of changing them, because these pipelines are as old as oil in Nigeria. Some of them you don't need much effort or technology to have access to it, to tap into it. It's simple technology. So there is need. I know it is capital intensive, but it is high time we start thinking of how to change these pipelines.
Dr. Mustapha Lamode, Executive Director, Health, Safety, Environment and Community at the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, said the industry had set up command centers to coordinate with stakeholders to monitor infractions and safety issues.
The first phase is basically bringing all these stakeholders together, getting stakeholder data and activating the command center. So the command center is well activated now, and infractions anywhere, can be detected and signal in real time sent to, security personnel who have the mandate, to act accordingly. Yeah. So in terms of safety and environment, I need to talk about that as well. There are a lot of safety concerns. You mentioned one on gas, and in recent times, basically when we enter the Ember month, we normally have high rates of fire incidents, truck accidents, and all that. But we're engaging the key stakeholders within this subsector. Basically, MOMAN, NOMAN, IPMAN, NITRO, we're having constant engagement with them, even from our regional, and state offices. But importantly, what we understand is that it's the lack of awareness, from most of the operators and those within this sector. So we introduce, or we are revitalizing what we have back then as our minimum industry safety training, that any player within the sector can have now.
On deepening gas production in the country, Mr. Felix Ekundayo, President, Nigeria Liquefied Petroleum Gas Association, recommended a shift from exports to local consumption.
The country needs to have a move away from gasoline and the gasoline subsidy, which has caused some considerable problems within the economy. It is only right that we use what we produce locally and consume it locally. We need to find a way. We keep talking about the reserves of Nigeria, but we don't actually consume or produce for the Nigerian market. So we need to move the narrative from an export-based mentality for gas to a locally based mentality for gas. So that's what we advocate as the NLPGA, right? There is a lot of work to be done. Often we tend to wake up once a policy is announced and we expect it to be done overnight. There's a lot of work to be done in gas in order to be able to reach the goals that we have set ourselves. So we hope to work with the authority, we hope to work with financial institutions and the government in trying to achieve this.
Turkey is the world's greatest leader in autogas today, with 35% of their vehicular fleet being run on autogas. And we are saying that Nigeria, being the giant of Africa, we should not be left behind. That we should do all, and luckily the government has declared this decade a decade of gas, so we should do all, not just to leave it for the government, but as consumers and as stakeholders, we should do all we can in our own individual efforts to ensure that we also take up the lead and become the giant of Africa in autogas. We have today a very friendly and listening authority, that the NMDPRA. They've cleared a lot of erroneous impressions people have on the authority, and they've come out clearly to tell people, yes, we are here to support the industry. We are here to make sure that things are a lot easier, that all those bureaucracies are cut off, and that we can move this industry forward, and we use gas as our energy transition.